Yo guys, welcome back to the Touchliner, episode 40. We took 2 weeks off, but we're back. We're hotter than ever, physically and ball knowledge wise. Ben, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. The transfer window has been nice to some of us,
It has,
unlike your bum team and my
yeah.
my team. Oh, wrong kit. Thailand FC.
Thailand FC, bro. There's been a lot of rumors flying around, to be honest, more than anything. I feel like more than normal. There's been so many, and I think it's your first time really, like being part of the rumors and you're hearing the big names, and there's a chance it might be true.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
yeah.
There's a lot.
Big movements coming for Newcastle this transfer window.
It
You
it
know, my heart genuinely goes out to all of the AC Milan fans because we have stolen we broad daylight robbery. We've stolen their star boy, their captain, and he's gone. You know what? I don't want to stay in Italy for the pitbirds. I don't want to stay in Italy for the food, the culture, the fact he supports AC Milan. No, 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 no. Sandro Tonali wants to come to the Toon. He wants to go look at the Time Bridge. He wants to go to digital and have a few double vodka lemonades. Okay, he wants to come to Newcastle. He wants to go down to the big market, and
can't believe that.
we've stolen a future captain, 23 years old, 11 caps for Italy. Um, obviously, Milan, probably Milan's best player behind Leao.
Mm,
It's a
mm.
it's a stupid signing. It's an absolutely stupid good signing. And I'm so happy that we've prioritized getting someone like that over Madison. 'Cause I've been saying for so long now that Madison is like he's like wishy-washy and he's been like flirting with the idea of coming to the club, but then like saying he wants to stay in London, and everyone's just like, mate, make your mind up. Otherwise, next year you'll be still at Leicester and you'll be leaving on a free with a massive wage cut. So yeah, that's that. We've only signed Tonali for 70 million euros,
Yeah, the
right?
Euros, yeah,
Or was it
yeah.
pounds? 70 million
Euros, I think it's
euros,
Euros, yeah.
and then
Crazy.
so he'll be earning 8 million quid a year with 2 million in add-ons. So he's basically doubled his wage at Newcastle. Um,
But I thought the Serie A was a big league. Someone who used to come on this
yeah,
podcast, can't remember the name. He's just going about the Serie A being a huge league, but instead he's left a team that won the league, or not like last year, 2022, they won the league.
and made the Champions League semi-final.
And yeah, and they made the Champions League semi-final, and he's joined a team that has made Champions League for the first time in over 20 years.
Mm,
What
yeah.
does that
It's
say?
interesting. It's interesting. I think, obviously, I'm sure money plays a part in it. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody at Newcastle is saying that it doesn't play a part or has some factor for the player. Like Kieran Trippier came actually, but when he came, he was like, I actually took a wage cut to come to Newcastle. So he was earning more in Spain than he was in Newcastle. I think that the reason Tonali is coming is because he doesn't see a future plan at Milan. I think he might be a player that has more ambition and he doesn't see a winning future side at that club. So he looks elsewhere for where the big prospects are, where the potential for winning is, where instead of where winning already is, like City, who aren't interested in really young players like Tonali. Um, and we've signed young players like Isaac, Bruno, Anthony Gordon, um, and it seems like a good spot for him. But you know how Italians come into the Premier League and can be a bit wishy-washy. So
Yeah,
it'll be
that's what
interesting to see.
I was saying. I was like, I told Charlie, I was like, can you name me an Italian player that's come from Serie A, joined the Premier League and done well?
Yeah,
I
literally.
can't come up with
I
any.
couldn't name one.
But also a thing is, a lot of them don't usually want to leave Italy. Rumor
Mm,
has it that Tonali got forced out a little bit. The club basically said, we want money instead of you, which that's crazy. How can you? That's a guy that is one of the top talents in Italy. He's got potential to pretty much to be your captain. He wants to stay forever, and you're forcing him out. So
mm.
what are you gonna do? He
If
joins
that's
a
the case
club.
though, if that's the case, he could have gone to somewhere like I mean, it might be the case, but if it was, then I would think surely he would wanna stay, in a league similar to the or he would go somewhere in Italy, or he would go to Spain or something like that. Because it's weird to see, like, an Italian international and a big Italian star come into the Premier League because it just doesn't happen. Because they're the football in the Italian league is so much it's so different to the Premier League. Premier League's so much more exciting and so much better. But yeah, like it's just interesting to see. And do I care if he's been forced out? Not really, because I know that Eddie Howe will get the best out of him, and we've got a very tight knit squad, so everyone plays for everybody, um, and it'll be good to get him involved, and hopefully he becomes one of the boys. He becomes and he'll be a fan favorite instantly. Like he'll be the next Joe Linton. Like Joe Linton is fan favorite easily.
Yeah, but he's
Um,
better
uh,
than Joe Linton. Way better than
yeah,
Joe Linton.
yeah, probably he probably will be, but I would love to see just him sitting in that deep six, and then having Bruno being able to push higher up, and have Joelinton being able to link up on the left side with whoever it is, if it's Isaac or Willock or whoever.
We'll see.
It'll be nice to see those two players who have to usually control the game defensively, be able to have a little bit more freedom.
Yeah, I think it's a great signing. I think it's great. You acted quickly, heard the news. You've pretty much. I mean, it's not official, but it's pretty much done.
It
Fab,
was it was done in a
Ornstein.
week, wasn't it? It
Yeah,
was
it's
1 week,
quick. That's how
pretty
you
much.
should do it. Fab and Ornstein have confirmed it. It's pretty much gone
Yeah.
through. I think that's a one of the biggest signings so far this summer. Um,
I think it's a shock signing though,
I
like
know,
because
I
nobody
know.
expected
The
like,
saying
especially because
was,
Newcastle are deep in they're very deep into the early build, right? So it's surprising to have a player of such quality. Like, it's like when, City signed David Silva or something like that. It's like it's such a player of such quality coming early on can genuinely set you up for trophies,
yeah,
and because he's that good.
yeah. He's won
But
trophies and semi-final. He reached semi-final of the Champions League. You've got a bit of now European experience in that team.
yeah,
It's
a
all it's
little
all
bit.
wins. It's all wins, man. Honestly, that was a good signing. Hussein was in bits.
Cry more, cry
Ho.
more.
Remember, he was like, "Oh, we don't even want to win." They sacked Maldini, who has been complaining about. Hussein's actually been complaining about Maldini a lot as their CEO, but everywhere I've been reading has said he was doing a good job. I don't know. I don't know,
It's
but
the thing is, like, also what I've noticed is the Italian journalists contradict themselves a lot.
mm,
So, like, when I'm scrolling through, like, the transfer sources and stuff, a lot of the Italian journalists were saying, "Oh, Tonali isn't leaving. The club want him to stay." And then 3 days later, it was Tonali is now in, where is it? Turkey or wherever, or
Romania.
do Romania, and doing a medical with Newcastle soon. Like, they back and forth. So I don't know who to trust when it comes to news from Italy. About anything, whether it's like hires in the club or whether it's controversy.
Yeah.
I don't know who to trust.
Yeah, nah, you just gotta stick to the reliables. Ornstein, Romano. In England, there are a lot more like
Yeah.
reliable journalists, but you just gotta find them out. Some are better at certain clubs, but good signing for Newcastle. Um, who else are you linked with? Just a quick rundown. Who else are you linked with?
Right now, we are linked with Soboslai, if that's how you
Oh
say
yeah,
his
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Soboslai. Um, we're linked with James Madison, obviously.
I think he's more linked to Spurs, no, and that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah, it was us and Spurs who were in contention for him.
yeah,
Um, but I think I saw a few sources saying Newcastle aren't going to wait. They either get him
yeah,
soon or they don't get him at all, because I think Eddie Howe wants a full preseason with his signings. He doesn't want to wait until like the very last minute of the transfer window to get someone in because he
Yeah, of
wants to be
course.
able to introduce his system early. Um, we're linked with Theo Hernandez. Theo Hernandez. We're just
You
milking that
get
team up
Teo
to see.
Hernandez. We have to get
Oh,
Hussein back on for an episode.
that'd be so funny, literally. But like the Theo Hernandez thing is like that's just rumors, but some like reliable rumors from the northeast at least are saying that linked with Theo Hernandez, but no official bid has been made. Soberslay, we've been linked with him for longer than anyone besides Madison. He looks pretty promising, but again, like Bundesliga tax. So
Hmm.
you never know how he's going to play until he makes it into the Premier League.
Yeah,
Could just be
yeah,
another Werner. So
exactly. Exactly. But that sounds good. Sounds like you're on the right track. You've got pretty much a signing down. Whereas my club are
mm,
trying tirelessly to buy Mason Mount.
Mason Mount.
Mason
That
Mount.
is the Ten Hag effect right there.
I don't
That's
understand. It's not. Look, I don't
he wants him.
understand.
He
I
wants him.
I know, but I don't understand. I don't know. I'm not questioning. I am questioning him.
No, I'm
I I'm
questioning. I'm
questioning him. I really want him to prove me wrong. If we get Mount, and he shows up and he's like this revolutionary number eight who attacks and defends and gets like 20 goal involvements, fine. But do I see that happening? Not really. Do I rate him? No. I don't think he's that
nah.
good of a player. I think the English tax is crazy. I think if he wasn't from England, he would be a very average player. But because he's English,
He'd be 25 to 30 million max.
exactly.
Easily.
And now we're here with 55. It's our third bid, 55 million with
Yeah.
add-ons, and they want 65. So we put it on the table and gone, all right, take it or leave it. Finally, which I thought was we should have done it like 40 million. Like that you come in with that. He's got 1 year left
Yeah.
of his contract. He wants out of the club. The club don't want him anymore. I don't know. It's a Man United tax and an English tax. They're trying to just drain us,
This
but
gives me this gives me Angel Di Maria vibes. It gives me Lukaku vibes. It gives me like it sounds like an Alexis Sanchez move. It sounds like a bad Man United signing. I don't know why Ten Hag would go for him of all players. It doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like he would prioritize a striker or a deeper midfielder that can help with Casemiro rather than this like little ball hog, useless prick that is Mason Mount. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to
it
me.
doesn't fit in because you hear names like, oh, Ten Hag wants De Jong. You're like, oh, fair enough, like a deep lying playmaker. It's like, oh, but he wants Caicedo. I'm like, oh, like a combative
The
defensive
Fado would be
midfielder.
so nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was like, these make sense. And you hear Mason Mount, you're like, hey, like
It doesn't fit, does it? It's
if
just Man United and Mason Mount don't fit. Just
if
like
he's a
and
hard
Sanchez.
worker. That's all people have. He's a hard worker and he's all right at set pieces. But Ericsson is good at set pieces and Bruno is a hard worker. So I don't know, is Mount meant to replace Ericsson? If so, he's not got the technical ability. Is he meant to replace Bruno? Definitely not. I don't think he's meant to
Absolutely
replace.
not.
But are you buying, you're spending 55 million to put him on the bench? I don't understand. I
Mm.
don't see a need, but luckily now rumors or transfer news is saying that we are turning to Caicedo, who we should have been
Chelsea
going for
have
from the
signed
start.
them, right?
Chelsea
Sure.
Chelsea want him, but what was it? They rejected a bid from Chelsea or something. But
Obviously, they're going to try and get as much money as they can out of Caicedo because just everyone seems to be interested in him right now.
last number I saw was 90 million, and we were actually linked with him
90
in
million.
yeah. I That's what they want.
That's ridiculous.
They're not gonna get it. They'll probably get 70 to 80, which I'm fine with paying for him. But yeah, we actually could have bought him before he went to Brighton. We were linked with him. He would have cost 5 million. I remember thinking to myself, he's a young prospect. There's no like if you sign
No
him and it
risk.
doesn't work out,
Yeah.
yeah, no risk. You sign him, it doesn't work out,
Five
fine.
million.
You, and now look at us. This is
Yeah.
classic Man United, Glazer era Man United. This is exactly what we do. Like
You also
Pogba,
just
remember we
recently,
did with Pogba? Yeah, go for free.
yeah,
90 million, come back. The same
You just
thing.
sold Iqbal, whatever his name is,
Watch,
for a
watch.
million.
Wait 5 years, bro. I can't believe
Yeah,
1 million. I was so angry, bro. So
this is it.
angry.
I think you've got Lee Charnley or someone in the back doing your transfer business because I don't know what the thought process is there. Like this is dead transfer business right there. I'd give it an F. Honestly, it's dreadful.
We're so bad at selling players. How is it? I think it's our biggest sale in the last how many years? I think like 10 plus years is Dan James. We sold him
Jesus.
to Leeds for 15, 20 million, I think, and we actually made
Wow.
profit, which we never make profit. You've got to be ruthless with it. City have done it before. Um, I wouldn't say Liverpool do it, but I'd say City, even Chelsea to an extent, when they sell their players, they don't lose all of it or let them go on a free.
Mm.
We always do that. And it's
Yeah.
like now with FFP, you need to be more smart with these signings.
I kind of don't understand what Chelsea are going through right now. They've given away like 5 or 6 of them. They've sold 5 or 6 of them, like,
It's
starting
uh
players.
it's a revolution going on there. It's a whole thing. But I just want to say before we move on to Chelsea, I think Bahia's contract runs out at the end in the next few days.
Yeah,
Let
get
him
him
go.
gone.
Let him go.
Yeah.
Let him go.
No, no, sorry,
Honestly,
I just saw on the United plug on Twitter that he said that he's rumored to be extending his contract. I'll see if I
nah,
can
man.
find that tweet
Let
actually. But yeah, I saw, apparently he's gonna extend his contract, or United want to extend the contract. Which would be rough. Yeah, terms have been agreed with David De Gea over a new deal at Manchester United. Both parties are unsure as to whether it will be signed from the Telegraph. Jay Burt, the Telegraph.
keep if we keep him. If we, as long as we sign another goalkeeper, I'm okay with this. If we sign another
Mm.
goalkeeper, I'm okay with it. Bring in like a young keeper that could challenge him for number one, someone that can play out the back. We met with Onana's representatives just earlier this week. So I was hoping, and I watched Onana in the Champions League final. It was crazy to me just to see a keeper playing with his feet. I was like, wow, is this what everyone else experiences? Is this what I want to
Yeah.
experience every week? He would be a good signing, but we're also linked with the strikers. We got Polo Muani from Frankfurt,
Mm.
the one that missed right at the end of the World Cup final, or
Yeah.
Hoyland, Vitek Haaland from
Bro,
Atalanta.
I don't that is something that I just think people are genuinely buying into too much. The land tax, just because he's got the same,
He
like,
had
kind
an
of sounding
all
name as.
right season. I don't think we should overpay for him. I
Yeah,
think
it's
anything.
one season as well.
Yeah, I
One
know.
season.
Thing is, if we can get him for like 30 million or 40 million, it's like fine. Take a gamble. Honestly, we have the money to do this. But
Yeah.
it's only one season. If you're spending 60, 70 million, that means okay, 20 goals a season. You have to do it. So I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
Moani is a bit more seasoned, a bit more experienced
What
in it. He's
about,
played.
like, Jonathan David or someone like that? Or, like,
Jonathan David, I mean he's not had a good season. And he's not like a out and out number nine. These two guys are tall, they're quick,
Yeah,
kind of fits like the classic number nine.
yeah.
So I wouldn't mind either of them if we got them. But these are all rumors. Wouldn't be surprised we get to the end of the window and we sign no Igalo on loan again. Weghorst
Oh,
on a permanent deal.
Iheanacho? Iheanacho?
Iheanacho on like loan or something.
I don't
This
even
is
think that would be too bad for you, honestly. I don't think Iheanacho would be a bad signing.
no. I
If you
think it'd be okay to be honest. I don't think it'd be bad, but it's not like the level we want. And obviously
uh,
now Kim Min Jae, I think is going to Bayern Munich. So
yeah.
that dream's dead.
Mm.
It's just depressing.
Centre back, you don't really need, like, it's not priority, right?
No, I'd say like a striker, goalkeeper,
Like a
even a
goalkeeper
midfielder.
midfield,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, enough
But
about United's depressing transfer window so far.
to be fair, it's only been open for like a week or 2 weeks, so, like, you gotta
Actually,
give it time.
it just feels like it's been so long. I have faith. Even if Ten Hag does sign Mason Mount, I think he has a plan for him, but I just don't see it. But
Yeah.
moving down south to Chelsea, like you said, how many they've got rid of their whole team pretty much. Kante has gone to
Yeah.
Saudi, Koulibaly think he's also gone to Saudi. Mendy?
Gallagher's probably
Has Mendy gone to Saudi? He has, right?
meant. I don't know actually.
I
Oh,
think
the keeper.
the
Yeah, yeah,
keeper,
yeah. I
yeah,
think
yeah, Mendy. I think Aubameyang's gone. Ziyech is gone. They're just clearing shop. Kovacic is on the way to City. Mount probably joining United. Like they're fully going through a revolution, and they've just signed Nicholas Jackson. Ben, you know him very well. Give us a rundown of
yes.
Nicholas Jackson.
Oh, where do I start with Nicholas Jackson? Um, I know that he's a football player,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
I actually genuinely couldn't even tell you what league he played in, to be
Right,
honest with you.
nice.
So he's a star talent, and we're all excited to see him play at the top level in the Premier League.
Cheers, Jeff. I think, if I'm not wrong, I think he scored 13 or 11 goals last season in
Where?
La Liga for Villarreal.
Mm,
Now, when we're
mm.
talking about prolific Premier League level, this is exactly it. Scraping double figures.
When
In
Joselu
the Spanish
signs for
league,
Real Madrid, you know that
he
the league
and
is
he
dead.
scored like 20 goals last season, Joselu, in the Spanish league.
Yeah,
Like,
the
this is the
guy couldn't
level,
literally bag more than 5 goals in the Premier League.
bro. Joselu, come on, Real Madrid. He done it. He did it. He
Yeah.
completed his redemption arc. But
So,
Chelsea,
yeah,
I
they're going through a revolution. They've lost like at least 5 starters.
mm,
Maybe Poch wants to get rid of some waste. He wants to get rid of some
yeah,
some garbage. I would have got rid of Mount, to be fair. I would have I probably wouldn't have got, because obviously Gallagher sounds like he wants to go. I wouldn't be selling Gallagher, I would be keeping him. Koulibaly was just a bad signing from the beginning.
yeah.
Kovacic, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I feel like anybody can go into that City team and do well. And that's kind of how I feel about Kovacic,
I
is
think
that
he's
like
good. I think Kovacic
probably
is
gonna do
good.
well at City, like
And
regardless.
only 30 million euros.
I think
This is
Anthony
what
Gordon would do well at Man City.
a th-
So
30 million for Kovacic, and then they want 65 for Mount. This is what annoys me, man. Like Kovacic is better
yeah,
than Mount. I don't get it. He will do well. You're right, because he is like technically gifted. He's a good midfielder on the ball, and that's all City need. Like Gundogan, all these guys, they're not strong. Gundogan's joined Barca though now, but these kind of midfielders,
yeah,
Bernardo
that's true.
Silva, Gundogan, apart from Rodri, all the
Bernardo
midfielders
Silva's gone
are
as well.
weak. Yeah, Bernardo Silva's on the way out as well. I don't know where he's
Which is
going
which is
actually.
why I think that but it's weird to me because they've got Calvin Phillips in the back just waiting to be played. And then they bring in Kovacic, and it's just like, I know they don't play the exact same type of
Mm-mm.
midfield position, but it's like, when does Calvin Phillips get his call up? And also that City have been interested and have links with Declan Rice. So if you bring in Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips, he's waiting there on the bench. Where does he fit into this? Is he just now like a little squad player that gets one run out every season? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think it is like that. I don't know. I never rated Calvin Phillips. I thought he did well for England. I think he fits well into that
Mm,
system. He had all right at Leeds. But to join City, I think you had to know, surely he's not deluded. Surely he knew that he's throwing away his first team prospects, because there
yeah,
are multiple players better than him in that team. But he is. If you're looking at medals, trophies, who's laughing now? He's got his treble.
yeah,
We actually did
yeah.
we?
Played literally 2 games in that whole treble season. Didn't
Yeah,
even. He started one, and that was um the I think, was it the final
he didn't start in the
against?
final. No.
No, he started in something.
He didn't start against us. He might have. I don't know. If it wasn't
I
against
can't
us or the
remember.
Champions League, I don't know when he played.
Oh, I think it was the last game of the season, actually. He,
Ah,
played in the last game of the season. He
right.
started against Leeds
That
or
make
whoever it was.
that makes sense. Yeah, but that's actually the first time we mentioned the treble in the podcast, because obviously we did the
Oh,
episode
yeah.
before the final.
Speaking of the treble, which guy said it would happen? This guy, eh? Which guy said that Man City would win the Champions League? This guy right here. And which idiot, stupid people said it wasn't gonna happen? boom, right there.
Idiot,
And
stupid
Hussein,
people.
Hussein, if you're watching, you as well, you idiot. I
I,
told you.
I, I said, right, that I don't want them
Okay,
to
I
win it,
don't
and
care
I'm
what you said.
hoping they don't
Hussein
win it.
said, no, shush. Hussein said it will never happen
Okay,
in
I
my
never
lifetime.
said that. I didn't say never. That was stupid to say that. That's a Hussein
Nick,
moment.
yeah, classic Hussein moment.
It's
Yeah,
Hussein moment. But Inter had the chance to draw it level though. A certain
yeah.
Lukaku. How
Bro,
is he?
bro just can't score.
He's done it again.
Hey,
How did he miss? I don't know how he
scored
missed.
scored Megan the Stallion though.
That's the
She's
only
she's
place you could.
she's she's not a dub, bro. That's a
Yeah, I just want to make me and
common
Ben actually
common
just
L.
we
Okay?
don't see the deal. That's just
Mid the Stallion.
bro, mid
Mid.
footballer, right? And
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, he should have scored
yeah.
that right at the end. He hit right at Edison. That's just it sums it up, doesn't it? He's been horrible, and now he wants to join Inter, but Chelsea want to sell him, but Inter don't
No,
want
he was
him.
on loan. He was on loan at Inter.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
thought it was a permanent signing.
Nah, he's on loan. He wants to join Inter. Inter aren't sure if they want him back. Saudi want him, but he's turned them down already. So he's just there.
Honestly, Dzeko is more of a is more of a like a better player to have up front than Lukaku is,
Exactly,
easily.
but I think Jacko went. He didn't go to Saudi. He went somewhere. I don't know where Jacko went, but he moved somewhere.
Let me just
Um.
look at Lukaku's stats this season. Uh, here we go. Inter.
Oh wait, no, Jacko's still at Inter. Oh, I don't know. Oh, he's joining Fenerbahce. Why would you do that? Why?
So in the Serie A, he played 25 games this season, scored 10, assisted 6. It's not even that bad of a season.
That's
That's
all
better than
right.
Ivan Toney, right? I think
No,
Ivan Toney has 11, right?
no. Ivan Toney had like 20.
He doesn't have 20.
Yeah, he did.
Mate, they're like all pens as well. He's actually so bad. Oh, he does have 20. Um, Ivan Toney is overrated. That's a hot
Really?
take.
You think he's overrated?
Ivan Toney is overrated. Callum Wilson is better than Ivan Toney.
I don't know about all that. I
Definitely.
think Tony. I think as a poacher, obviously, I think
And
Callum Wilson.
Callum
Callum,
Wilson doesn't cheat.
I think that is true. I think Callum Wilson, as a poacher, I think he's the second or third best in the league. Poacher, so like in the
He's
6 yard
he's
box.
definitely he's definitely third best.
I think
Yeah.
I do not because I don't see Kane as a poacher. So I think Haaland and then Wilson because I don't
You
know
wait. So you have him as what? Third? Who's
second.
the first and second? Oh,
I'd
second.
say I'd say
Well, no, but
Haaland's first.
if you played Kane as a poacher, he's scoring. You know, you could play Kane as a poacher or
Yeah,
as a
you
10.
know what? That is true. I think then you'd be third, which is fine. Like
Yeah.
there aren't many poachers left in the game if you do think about
Uh,
it.
yeah.
So it's
And
useful
even
to
then,
have someone.
Haaland is not really like he's a poacher, but he also has a little bit more to his game as
Mm,
well. He's like
yeah.
a bigger and stronger Shearer who's
Mm,
not as good at shooting because obviously Shearer had a much better like connection with the ball than Haaland does. But um, yeah, I just think he's overrated, and he plays in a nice little system at Brentford as well, and he does stat pad with penalties a lot. And the only person to stop his penalty reign was Nicholas Pope with a beautiful little save. And no one has ever saved a penalty from Ivan Toney until he did
yeah.
that.
That was the first
Meant.
one. That was. I
So
rate him. I'd take him if he wasn't banned, but he's just
you
got to
know
wait
what? You
now.
know who you can get as your. I'll do you a deal. I give you a good deal, brother. Okay,
Mm,
for your keeper. You need keeper? I can give you keeper. Okay,
no, I don't want your keeper.
Karius. We will give you 10 million if you take
Shut up.
Karius.
Shut up. You keep Karius, man. Keep the guy that like ruined your chances of winning a trophy.
What are you gonna do? Sometimes
What's
life just works out that way. You know. Would we have won with Nick Pope in? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But
I
we'll be there
honestly
next
I
year.
blame him more for the first goal than the second goal because his positioning in the first goal was dreadful. The second goal is a deflection. Like, what are you gonna do?
Trying to think what the first goal was.
First goal is a free kick from the left, and Casemiro gets a free header, and Karius is just like,
Oh yeah, but they weren't like. they weren't such bad errors where I thought, like, he threw the game. They were
Nah.
just it was probably savable, but like in boxing or combat sports, we say ring rust is a real thing.
Mm,
So, like, when you haven't been actually, you can do all the training you want and all the sparring you want, but it's not transferable to actually fighting when you've not done it in a long time. So fighters will find that when they stay out of the ring for a long time, they come back. It's different. Like, it's a struggle for
yeah.
them, and that's
No,
probably
true.
just what Karius went through. It's like 4 or 5 years without a first team appearance and a top level appearance in the top five leagues.
Yeah, true.
So you can't exactly blame him too much, but still shit, still shit.
But yeah. Well, what's your take on Saudi Arabia taking over football? I mean, they do own your club,
I
but
love it. I think they are good. I love the Saudis. I live in the Middle East and I love the Saudis. They're my favorite people
they're
of all the
signing
peoples in the world.
they're signing everyone. I don't want your takes on like the morality of it, but the fact
Mm.
that they just decided to pump money into their football.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously after the World Cup was bought for Qatar, um, the Middle East now want to have as many big sporting events as possible over there because it brings in such money and
Mm,
such viewership. Like they've had the biggest boxing fights there. They had Joshua Ruiz too. They had Fury versus somebody, I can't remember who. They had the Jake Paul Tommy Fury boxing event. And then obviously when it comes to UFC, they had Fight Island in Abu Dhabi.
yeah.
Conor McGregor fought there. Dustin Poirier fought there. Few others, Chimaev, all of them. So they're taking over sports, really, the most popular sports in the world right now for viewer wise globally is obviously football, uh, and football, boxing, UFC. Those are the big ones. You could argue maybe like tennis as well, maybe. And obviously, the PIF have just actually tried to make. They've had a meeting with the head of the organization that runs. I can't remember the name, but it was to do with tennis because they want to purchase the rights to have it
Yeah, yeah.
in the Middle East. So to me, it makes sense that they're starting to pump money into the Saudi league. Um, whether it's um I kind of see why people are annoyed at it because it's such a foreign concept where a league can just be generated and like teams can be pumped up with good players so quickly, but it's kind of like, what can you do? Like, this is the direction that football's been heading in for a while now. So, um, I don't really know if there's anything morally wrong with it. It's not like they're going to be competing for Champions Leagues. You give them like 10 years, they still won't be in the Champions League. Like, the league
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that genuinely don't think they can do anything to make that a top five league. They can sign as many players as they want, but I don't think that the interest is there to watch Saudi league
I think
football.
they could get in the top five, but fifth. Like I think they could overtake the French league easily.
Mm.
I don't like.
10 years minimum, minimum.
Yeah, it'll take time, but look at how many like Koulibaly just got announced, and
Yeah,
we're gonna keep going. They're
campaign.
signing all these big names. Ronaldo paved the way, and I think he's the face of the project. So it's gonna be more of a common occurrence. China did this. You have to remember all those years ago, and they failed.
Yeah,
So
that's the
this
thing, 'cause
could
there was
be
no interest in watching Chinese football or in the
exactly.
Chinese league.
Exactly. So unless I mean, that's the thing because Ronaldo joined in Saudi, they showed like one of the finals or one of the games for free on Sky. So
Mm,
if they do stuff like that, people will watch it because like they are big names, there are international players. So time will tell. But I mean, with if Qatar buys United, that's the Middle East basically taking over football. You've got Saudi owning Newcastle, Qatar owning United. What else? Abu Dhabi owning City, obviously. A lot. If that happens, that's insane. That's pretty much
Yeah, and but you know, game's the game.
the game is the
That's
game indeed.
the game is the game at the end of the day,
That's
and
gonna be me if Qatar takes over,
boohoo,
honestly.
boohoo, wow, wow to all the teams at the bottom half of the table because that's no longer my club. Okay, and I'm perfectly happy with my trustworthy, journalist-loving owners. Okay, they're great. I love the PIF and the Saudis. They're great. But
Nice.
what I will say is I don't care about the morality of anything that the government of whatever country owns a football team. I don't care about it. Um, every country has their own faults. The UK is built on taking over other countries and genocide in some areas. So we are not inadmissible ourselves to be going over to another country and saying, "Oh, you can't do this. The morals of this are wrong, and you are not as morally superior as we are." When we have nonces uh, as kings and princes, and you've
Listen.
got what do you call it? You've got Zionists as the
I
prime minister.
Oh,
So
okay. That was on tape. Yeah, she can't deny that. Liz
yeah,
Truss. Look,
Liz
yeah,
Truss.
with the whole thing with like, yeah, you can disagree, but like realistically, is there a morally sound billionaire? No.
No, yeah,
They're all like that, right? You can find fault in anything if you look hard enough. It's just that these are very publicized.
yeah.
It's look, the game is the game. Like if Qatar buys us over, I'm
Game's the
gonna be
game.
if Qatar buys us over, I'm gonna be happy. Not because it's Qatar, but because it's someone that actually cares about the club.
And also,
Um,
like, there's no when it comes to being state owned, that's because of the layout that City have had. That was always going to be the end goal. That was always going to be the route to success. And I do not take 100% of Newcastle's current success to the owners. They are a big part of it for sure, but I would obviously give it more to Eddie Howe and the players. People who don't watch Newcastle and don't keep up with our games will obviously not agree because they just see 1 + 1 = 2, and they think that okay, Saudi money, Newcastle were relegated, then they got Saudi money, now they're in the Champions League. It doesn't work like that. That's not how it works. We look at Chelsea, who have spent the most money in the past 5 to 6 years, and they're currently 11th. You have to press see more to see where they are in the Premier League table. Okay, it doesn't always add up. You have to have good infrastructure. You have to
yeah,
have good managers, good scouting, good youth prospects. You have to have everything. Okay, it doesn't just mean that you can have money and that means you get success. So it was always going to be this way. Um, would I change it? No. Cry more. No, I wouldn't change it. But what are you going to do? Game's the game. At the end of the day.
it's true. I think the power of your owners will shine through more now because now you're gonna start making big name signings. 'Cause up to now, I think you attribute most of the success to the coaching, like you said. But I think from now, it's
Now
probably
it's
like
going to start
it's
getting
more
interesting.
towards the end. Yeah,
Yeah,
because you start with Tonali. Who's next? Who do you like?
yeah.
I'm just waiting for the next big name. Like Tonali started off as a this is the
Obviously,
thing that
Barella
you
was before Tonali as
yeah,
well. That
see
was the rumor.
you're gonna start getting a taste for these things because Tonali was a rumor and you're like, yeah, right, and then it actually
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
So now
yeah,
every time there's a rumor, you're like, ooh, what if like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. That's the thing.
big club movements.
I've got two things just to mention. Apparently, I don't know how reliable that source is, but apparently, PSG want 250 million for Mbappe plus 50 million in add-ons if Real Madrid want him. So 300 million um, is literally the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Do we think Mbappe's worth 300 million?
No.
No, no, we don't. Okay.
No.
And if you do, you need to go see a therapist because you have some mental issues. Okay. Who's worth that? He's not even the best player in the world. How can he
Some
be
people
worth that?
think he is, but it's
Uh,
now you I think they're being stupid because now they're just gonna lose him for nothing. I mean,
yeah,
obviously they don't care, like, because they're owned by Qatar. They don't care, but like, why would you just sell him? Like, I don't understand. You've got a guy there that doesn't want to be there. He'll play for you half-assed for a season, and then he'll leave
yeah.
for free. Why would you do that?
Well, what? But that price tag is limited to literally three clubs in the world that could afford him.
Yeah, but no one's gonna pay that. Like, I
Obviously,
don't
he's
even
not
think
going to
Real
come to
Madrid.
Newcastle. Guaranteed, not going to come to Newcastle. Wouldn't want him anyways. Not gonna not gonna sign for Real Madrid because they've just spent 130 million on Jude Bellingham. They have not got the 300 million
Mm,
lying around to sign him. He can't go anywhere unless they sell him for 150 million maximum. No one
yeah, I
else can
think
afford.
150 mil. I think people will start. I think even Newcastle will be there if it's 150. I
Maybe
think
an
everyone.
installment. Maybe an
Honestly,
installment.
I think that's what they should do, but they probably won't. They'll probably keep him, get knocked out of the Champions League in the last 16 again, and then he'll go for free. They've done
I
that two
remember
seasons
when
in a row now.
Newcastle got taken over, and I remember the first meme I saw was Mbappe when he signs for Newcastle, and it was a video where it was like, "My name's a true Geordie, and I've been a Newcastle fan my whole life." And it was just made us laugh because now Tonali is probably gonna feel like that. I've always loved the club. I see the club with very big.
Honestly, if he
You know
comes
how
up and says, "Oh, I've always liked Newcastle," that's such a lie. You can't. No, you can't say that.
it always happens. It always happens. Like obviously they're PR trained. Like they
Yeah,
they get
yeah.
told how to perform for the English media. And also, I'd like to discuss quickly, depending on how much time we have, the morality of the Saudi league signing Ruben Neves and the possibility of loaning him to Newcastle, who are owned by the same people. What
I
do we
don't.
think,
I don't think it's happening. It was a rumor, but I would be shocked. Like, I would be shocked if you do that. That is
bro?
blatant
Can you just
sports
imagine
washing.
going
Blatant
into the
sports
Champions
washing.
League, Bruno Neves and Tonali? Oh my god!
They can't. That's so blatant, man. Like, if they do that, people will be calling for an investigation.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll
The,
happen. I think because
the
Al
thing
Hilal have
is,
tweeted out, "Oh, it's new record signing, whatever."
I always kind of, I always say to myself, "Oh yeah, I would. If it was my club, I would go against it. I'd stand up to it." But now I'm here, and now I'm like, now
Hypocrite.
I now I understand that the game is the game. Okay, the game is the game. And if Ruben Neves was to come to the club, I would be like, no, no, stay in Saudi, please. We don't want you to play for us. Get in the starting 11 now. Joe Willock can't cut it anymore. Okay, I would.
This
I
guy.
everybody wants to be moral until it happens to their team. Like I remember, there's a little bit of a rivalry between Newcastle fans and Manchester United fans on social media. Just obviously, I hate them. I hate you,
Ah,
and I think I obviously hate Manchester United, and I think the feeling is mutual for some Man United fans towards Newcastle, and there was a lot of stick towards Newcastle when we got taken over, and now the voices are starting to shift a little bit after Qatar are now interested in your club with all their moral problems with the World Cup and the workers and
I never cared. No, I'm kidding.
no,
The
that's
game's
it.
the game. What are you gonna do? I'm not in
The game's the
control.
game.
I don't own Man United.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's a but no, doing that if they loan Neves to you, now I would laugh, but I'd be like, that's crazy. Like, you're not even hiding it anymore. But I think
I mean, what can you do, man? Isn't it? Like, I think there's only so much that you could do now to prevent what City started and what Chelsea started. You know, I don't
Yeah,
understand. Was it weird? You know what the funny thing is? Chelsea were bought by uh, what's his name?
Abramovich.
Uh, Abramovich. Yeah. How wealthy is he?
Oh, a
Billions and
billionaire.
billions,
Yeah,
right? And people were saying, "Oh well, money can't buy you a Champions League." Oh, they won the Champions League, so and then City won the Champions League, so they won the treble. So now clubs who have big fan bases will be targets for these wealthy billionaire owners.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
obviously Newcastle,
Look at Villa right now. Look at them
yeah,
right now. Like even their
Villa.
board appointments, they're taking the best from Europe. Like these big clubs that were big in the past. So Villa obviously used to win European trophies. Newcastle have one of the most loyal, loud fan bases in the country.
Yeah, they've got a Champions League under their belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's Forest have a rich owner, but I think they can do better. But there's a lot of potential now, and I think it could be like the English league will just go clear if if things keep going this way. But
It's not even close. It's not even going to be close. The
mm,
Premier League is the biggest league in the world. It's the best league in the world. It's the richest league in the world. It's got the most TV coverage. It's got the most fans. It's not really doubtable anymore, is it?
nah,
Like
it's true. That's true.
the best team in the world plays in England, Manchester City. They
They
just
are.
won the treble. Not even doubtable. Okay, but also like Wolves. Wolves are owned by uh,
Yeah.
billionaires.
Yeah, that's the thing now. There's so many rich owners at these like small English clubs that have more funding than some of the big clubs in Europe.
Chelsea, Arsenal as well.
Yeah, yeah. Even
Look,
even
the
West
actual,
West Ham have
Lei-
money. West Ham have
yeah,
got money.
I didn't realize that Leipzig's owners and RB
It's Red Bull.
Leipzig and Red Bull, their owners were 15.7 billion.
Yeah, they're Red Bull. Red Bull owns them, but they changed the name and they changed the logo so it doesn't look like Red Bull because in Germany you're not allowed to be owned by a company. But they
Oh,
found a
really?
loophole. Yeah, so the it's not the Red Bull logo, but if you look at it, it almost looks like
It
it.
looks exactly like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. People find loopholes, but last piece on the agenda is Havertz has gone to Arsenal for £65 million.
Oh, anyways, last week,
Anyways, yeah,
what a
65,
flipping weird signing.
65 million.
Yeah, I thing is though, like I've been saying it, he was probably going to do well at Arsenal.
I
He's
don't think
probably
so, man.
going to do
I honestly don't think so. I think Arsenal's record of buying players from Chelsea, they buy them. Who did they buy? Czech when he was past it. David
well.
Luiz when he was past it. Willian after he got fat. What is this record? Like I don't understand. And they've done it
Yeah,
again with Havertz. I think Havertz
uh,
1 or 2 seasons, then he goes Bundesliga. I'm calling it right
yeah,
now.
yeah, 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 definitely, definitely, definitely. Unless Arsenal like challenge for title this year,
Nah, I'm telling you, Arsenal
and they won't. Yeah,
early hot take. Arsenal are done, man. Don't even consider them for the top.
of course he says this.
This is
I
what I
remember
said
when
at the
Arsenal
beginning of
were
last
first
season.
place, they were first place, and this guy said, "Guys, it's only 10 games into the season. You don't. They're gonna flop. They're not even gonna be top four." Did you say that?
I did say that.
Why are people saying that Arsenal are going to win the league? They're only first place.
They didn't win the league, so I'm happy
Yeah.
with that. I did say Liverpool might get top four, though. I said don't write them off. I was kind of right
Mm.
with that. They came fifth. This ain't laugh at
Let's
me.
have a let's have a little early predictions
I don't
for.
have. You know what? No,
I
City
want
are gonna
I
win the
want
league.
I want predictions for who you're gonna. I want two signings that you're gonna predict for your club. I want position next year, and if you win anything, trophy
Okay,
wise.
that's fine. I'll give you that right now. I'll give you. I say we get Mason Mount, and
Go ahead.
I think we get Rasmus Højlund up front. That's what I think's gonna happen, and I think we come second. Mm.
Mm.
I think we come second.
Second?
I think we come
What?
second. I think we come second. And
Gee,
because obviously those aren't the only two signings. I think we'll make a few. So them, and I think we'll win trophy again. Just one. I don't. Maybe the FA Cup. Yeah.
interesting. Okay. I don't know about second.
What are you gonna say? I can't
No,
believe
no, no.
you
I'm not
heard it.
gonna say anything crazy. I'm not gonna say anything crazy. Um, I think because technically, Tonali's not actually signed yet. He's just
Okay.
signed in principle. So Tonali will be the first one I'll put down. The second one that I'll put down, although I don't necessarily I want him, but I also like the midfield that we have now. So I'm gonna I'll say Tio Hernandez. I'm gonna go for it. I'm just gonna say let me milk AC Milan dry. I was gonna say Soboslai, but I
Crazy.
don't. I like Joel Linton and Bruno playing together. I don't
Yeah.
want
No, you
to
can
take
always
that
use
away.
depth, but yeah, okay. Teo, I think a left back is quite important for you guys.
That
And
would be
then
in
placing?
uh, placing. We're gonna finish. I don't know. I'm gonna say fourth.
Really? Okay.
Fourth or
Okay.
third would be a push with Champions League.
I promise you now, if you make one or two more marquee signings, we'll come back here and you're gonna tell me you're gonna challenge for the league.
Yeah, I mean, if we do get Teo Hernandez and if we get like a winger, then I will be saying we're going to get third, or we're going to challenge for the league. But bro, like we're already ahead of schedule. What
That's
what
true.
what else would What else could happen? First final in 60 something years, made it to Champions League in the first Champions League in 20 years after a year and a half of Saudi ownership and Eddie Howe management. What can he do in 2.5 years? You know,
Time will tell,
so
we'll
we'll
see.
see.
What are our
Um,
trophies? You think you win a trophy?
we win the Carabao Cup.
I
We're
see
going
that
back
happening.
for
I see that
we're going back
happening.
for revenge, baby. And we want you. We want you in the final. We don't want City. We
If
don't
we
want
face you in the final, we're losing. I hope we get
we don't,
knocked out in like the first round.
we don't want Liverpool. We don't want any of them. We want Manchester United in the final. That would be that would be unreal. There's nothing better. There was literally nothing better than that atmosphere than a Newcastle Man United final. It was unreal.
Mm.
It was better than the City Man United atmosphere, easily, not even close.
Yeah, because there's actually two full sets of fans instead of one and a
Yeah,
half.
rare.
Did you see their limbs when they won the Champions League?
Yeah,
Yay!
yeah.
What was that?
Hooray!
I literally saw more limbs from Newcastle fans at the end of the Carabao Cup final, which you
Yeah.
lost. I couldn't believe that.
Waving flags. Yeah, that's what we're pretty good at. Pretty good at it.
But
Yeah.
I think that rounds up the our return. Our return. We'll be back weekly. We'll be back weekly. We'll see if we can get other people on. But that was your transfer roundup for this week. Thanks for watching, guys. Um, everyone go follow Ben on Instagram. He's single, so if you wanna,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh, Allegri has rejected an Al Hilal bid.
Allegri. Yeah,
Allegri.
he's at Juventus still. He's still got something there.
Interesting.
Nah, they're
Interesting.
coming. Them young boys coming.
Newcastle are coming.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, comment, follow, all that good stuff, and we'll catch you next week. We're back in a bit.